What's going on, guys? Mickle here, and in this video I'm going to be providing you my perspective on why I believe a Ripple SEC settlement is right around the corner. Guys, this case has been going on for a very long time, but I think a settlement is going to pop up on people and surprise them and cause a massive explosion in the XRP chart. All the evidence we can see right now is suggesting that a settlement will happen, and it will happen a lot sooner than a lot of people realize. Guys, a settlement would be absolutely extremely bullish for XRP and would provide it clarity in the market that no other cryptocurrency has. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure you like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out so much in the YouTube algorithm and will help more people like you see this video. Anyway, guys, though, let's jump right into this video, and I hope you enjoy the content. Alrighty, guys, well, if you thought that intro was familiar, it's actually because it was from a video I uploaded shortly yesterday. I had a couple of mistakes in it, and I just didn't think it was up to the quality I wanted to bring to this channel, so I just thought I'd redo it, post it today, make some adjustments, and just bring it back to you guys and not have to worry about me providing any information that isn't entirely accurate. I hope you guys appreciate that, but let's jump right into the video. And the main thing we want to talk about today is why the SEC is now on trial and going to be forced to settle this lawsuit. Back when this lawsuit first came out, there was a lot of doom and gloom, and people really thought it was going to have to be Ripple who was going to make all the sacrifices. But in this video, I'm going to present to you why the SEC are actually the ones who are going to be forced to essentially give up in this case and hand over what Ripple wants. There are really two main things going on in the case right now that aren't really being talked about a lot, but I think have the potential to decide the entire case. The first one being is that the Judge Neprin orders the SEC to submit for in-camera review the two documents related to the SEC's meeting with law firms and the email chain concerning discussions with third parties who received guidance from the SEC. This is massive because the judge right here is acknowledging that she does not believe the Hinman speech was only Hinman's personal opinion. By asking for these documents, she is essentially telling the SEC that you need to show me this evidence, which essentially proves that the Hinman speech was way more than his personal opinion. The email chain that essentially the SEC is hiding from the courts is an example of the SEC using the Hinman speech to provide market guidance to other people in the crypto market. The reason this is so massive is because if the SEC as an organization is using this speech as market guidance, well, that means that the Hinman speech isn't a personal opinion, but rather a policy. Whether formal or informal, it doesn't matter. It's a policy that they were using to guide the markets, and therefore all players in the market should be held to that same standard. The problem right now is that Ripple is not being held to the standard that Ethereum was. So what Ripple wants is to also be held to that standard, where XRP would thus not be considered a security. The SEC has been trying to get out of this by saying that this was never a standard. This was just Hinman's personal opinion. But what's happening now is the court is saying, well, I want to see those email chains where you gave guidance using the Hinman speech. And I also want to see these other documents where you also used the Hinman speech to make decisions for the agency. This is massively bullish because under oath, the SEC stated that they did not believe the Hinman speech was market guidance. They believed it was a personal opinion. But based on all the facts and hard evidence that is present, it seems like it's all pointing to the fact that the SEC lied here. And here's just another thing that came out the other day in which Jay Clayton essentially says he backs up and agrees with the Hinman speech. Hinman swore under oath that it was only his personal opinion. This is from a deleted article which was retweeted by Consensus. So essentially, Consensus, the Ethereum Foundation, when Jay Clayton came out and said he agrees with the Hinman speech, this was back in 2019. You can see this tweet was, what they were saying is, This is perfect. This means that it's not just Hinman's opinion. This means it's an SEC prerogative. It's a policy they're pushing out. Ethereum has a free pass, and everyone was happy. Well, Ripple then came along and said, okay, well, we meet this, this, and this that Hinman said, so therefore you shouldn't consider us a security anyway. What the SEC is now trying to do is come back and say, whoa, 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 we never said that. That was just this one guy. I don't understand how they didn't think any of this was going to be leaked. The evidence was right there, and it's showing that the SEC played a massive role in delivering this market guidance. Therefore, why would Ripple ever be under the impression that XRP was a security if they were essentially following in the footsteps of Ethereum, which was deemed not a security? Now, the reason this looks really, really bad for the SEC is because the courts are going to realize that Hinman was instructed to lie to them. This makes their argument that Ripple should have known that XRP was a security it almost invalidates the entire thing. Why would the SEC be telling their officials to lie to the court if they knew their case wasn't extremely weak? The SEC has already brought an extremely weak case with very little factual evidence, and everything has been based on opinion and not factual. The judge has even stated multiple times that the SEC has failed to give any hard evidence proving that what Ripple did was wrong. Rather, everything they're bringing is circumstantial and really is just opinions up in the air, and the SEC saying they feel like this shouldn't be right. What the judge has said is this doesn't matter, and this is a great example of the SEC actually trying to create their own evidence, having their officials lie to the court in terms of the Hinman speech. The judge is realizing the fact that this is the fact, and thus is demanding that these articles be turned over to the court so she can put them on the record and essentially say, well, if this was just a speech, then why were you saying this to all these people who are asking questions and using Hinman's speech as guidance? It doesn't make any sense and is going to force the SEC into a bad position where they either have to admit they lied or come out and settle with Ripple to just end this thing right now. One thing I want to point out here too is that Ripple is actually choosing to seal these documents so that other people in the market can't see them. I think this is extremely important because these documents are damning to the SEC and not Ripple. The fact that Ripple is choosing to seal them shows that they are working with the SEC on something. The reason why I think this is because there would be no other reason for Ripple to seal these documents. If anything, they would just be hurting the SEC, and likely Ripple probably doesn't care at all about this. They probably hate the SEC right now. So the fact that they are choosing to seal these documents to help the SEC shows that there's something happening behind closed doors that we don't know about yet. This is likely going to come down to a settlement, and it's going to come down to what they're essentially right now deciding what each other want. It seems like one of the massive things the SEC does not want is for these documents to be leaked to the public. The reason for this is it could drastically hurt their fair notice defense. If other companies that the SEC later wants to sue want to come and use evidence from this case, right now they are making sure that cannot happen by forcing Ripple to seal these documents. There's likely something very good for Ripple on the back end of this, and that's the reason they're going out of their way to meet the SEC's demands. It's because the SEC in return will likely meet Ripple's demands in the settlement. Another thing I want to point out that's going to drive the SEC to the bargaining table is the fact that Judge Netburn a couple of weeks ago ordered the SEC to essentially answer questions under oath on the status of what an investment contract means in terms of crypto and how that applies to the XRP sales. This is an absolute mess the SEC could get themselves into because they pretty much do not have any policy on how this works. In this case, under oath, the SEC is going to be forced to explain their logic for how different things were securities and how other things weren't. The problem is their logic is completely completely irrational and makes pretty much zero sense. What the SEC essentially cannot answer these questions publicly without creating a massive problem for themselves. They can't only be thinking about Ripple right here. They need to be thinking about the entire crypto industry. Because if they give a wrong answer that gives other cryptocurrencies free pass, they're going to just lose control over the market and have massive issues. I think it's in the interest of the SEC to not answer these questions and settle the case before this occurs. If the SEC is forced to make these statements public, it's going to be a huge headache for them and could end up preventing a large part of the crypto market from being regulated by them. I've said this multiple times in this channel, but the SEC has dug themselves massive holes in this case, and they would rather give up on Ripple itself, let Ripple do what it is, take the L on that, than lose control over the entire space. At the current moment, if they decide to settle this case, let Ripple through the door, get over it, they will still be able to use their authority in other cases and still have that without leaking and creating precedent in the courts. But if they lose this case to Ripple, they will essentially create a standard that every other cryptocurrency company could then use to fight the SEC, and that would be a huge problem for them. The SEC, it's in their best interest to either settle this case with Ripple on the precedent that they will not leak the information to the rest of the market, or essentially for them to drop the case. I personally don't think they'll drop the case. It seems like if they were going to do that, it would have happened by now. So it really seems to me like the best option for the SEC is to settle it. It does not make sense for them to take this all the way, because if they do and it goes poorly for them, which it seems like it obviously is gonna, then it could be detrimental to any authority they have over the cryptocurrency space in the future. A little more speculative thing I want to point out is Jeremy Hogan recently tweeted to a response from the blockchain backer, wow, I'm not supposed to be here until next week. I'm out. I thought this was pretty interesting, and a lot of what's been going on in the case has been extremely quiet ever since Ripple started stealing some of these documents for the SEC. I'm not saying that Jeremy Hogan knows anything, but I just think it's really interesting that he stated, I'm not supposed to be here until next week. I'm out. Who's telling him that he's not supposed to be here? I know the other week he tweeted that one of his employees had an accident, but this tweet just doesn't seem to me like he's not supposed to be here. Like, if there was just an accident, he wouldn't say he's not supposed to be here. He would just be like, I'm still taking a break from Twitter. It's just funny that he said he's not supposed to be here. I don't know if he heard something. I was always under the impression that this case was going to end today when I'll be posting this video. I don't know if that's going to happen. It was just always a feeling I had the weekend before Swell started. I kind of want to put that prediction out there just to see what happens. Probably won't happen. It might go longer, but the chart is coiling up. It looks like it's going to break out. The SEC is getting absolutely whooped. I don't see how they make it out of this alive. It seems like it's just in their best interest to settle this thing and not worry about destroying any case in the future. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I guess in case you guys wanted to know, the thing that I messed up in the last video was I essentially stated that the discovery was going to be over November 12th. I shortly realized after I got a million comments, and I did know this, I just forgot, that it was extended to January 12th. I made some not so important points about it, just saying that, oh, well, this is coming close too. I just didn't want to put it out there since it wasn't the right information, so yeah, just wanted to tell you guys that in case you guys saw it and wanted to know what I messed up on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're still here, make sure you subscribe. It helps me so much, and it will help more people see these videos. Anyway, guys, for now, Mickle out.